this session is all about children and their play, and what we can learn from children's desire to play. And with us to learn about this, we have two people that are very, very much in the nose of children's, parents, their needs and their play. And what they're going to present to us in a little bit is insights from a kids play report that IKEA has conducted for the fourth time since 2010. And they've surveyed 7,000 children and parents around the world. They've hung out with 36 families for in-depth interviews and home visits and so on. And so the idea of this half hour together is that we will get an introduction to the report, and then there will be some time for questions from you all, and then we will enjoy the day, and Maria and Anna will be here as well. And so this is Anna, and Anna has a background as an industrial designer and has been with IKEA of Sweden for the past decade, dedicating her time to developing product for pretty much all facets of our homes, but currently now with the children's range. And before I introduce Maria, I should also say that we're super happy for IKEA building this playground for us and to partnering with the conference and so on. And Maria, she's the range area manager for children's IKEA, with over 25 years of experience in product development within this fantastic furniture company that all Swedes are very proud of, myself included. And she's developed products for offices, workspaces, living rooms, and is now leading the department that develop and manage the global range of children's products. I'm going to leave it at that, and Anna, Maria, please give us some insights from your children's report.
Before we go into the play report, we thought we would start a little bit about why play is so important. And as always, we start a little bit from the science. First of all, play is something we as humans are wired to do. Children learn pretty much everything they need for life and about life through play. And it's social interaction, empathy, math, physics, mastering your body. They learn everything. And I think, quoting Einstein, he said once that, or a long time ago, he said that play is the highest form of research. So something that is, this is not changing. This is here. We're sort of made for this. But if we ask children, what would they say? Why is play important?
But of course, from a child's perspective, it starts with, I'm just having fun. I feel good when I play, right? It's something where the body can't stop. You feel this sense of joy and this sense of feeling the imagination and exploring everything and every senses that you can explore. So from a child's perspective, it is about having fun and feeling joy.
Yes. And for us then, I have to say personally, playing is a way of learning new things. You learn better if you do it under playful circumstances. It helps us as adults to be more creative, more innovative, and better in the way we work together. So it can really help us as adults as well. And it's also good for our well-being and happiness. And why is it so good for IKEA then? Why are we so obsessed with play?
And I mean, of course, we could say coming from children's of IKEA, we are, of course, obsessed with the play. But what we also are super happy about is that playfulness is one of the guiding words in IKEA's directive and framework and how we work. So with that said, we have playfulness, we have inclusivity and simplicity as our guiding words. And of course, playfulness for us is the most important and where we feel that we can contribute.
Yes.
So maybe also with that we can dive into The play report.
The play report. Yes, and of course, as we are so obsessed with play, and we also talk about that children are the most important people in the world, we also want all the time to know what is the latest, what's the latest situation out there. So that's why we did the play report. We wanted to understand. It was 5 years ago since we did the last 117. And now we wanted to understand, because a lot has changed in the world. I mean, we know we have had COVID, we have wars going on, there is a climate crisis going on, and there is also an economic crisis out there. So, of course, this affects children. And that is actually, if we should go into now a little bit, what is the difference we see this time compared to 5 years ago? We can see that children actually adopt a lot of these normally adult concerns, and they are more stressed and more, I would say, worried than they were 5 years ago. So, of course, this was a little bit sad to understand. But on the other hand, there is also a positive thing here, because play is seen as the cure and the ticket to happiness by children and also by the parents. And we can also see that the difference this time is that play has been more prioritized. We can see in the report, in the survey, that families spend more time playing together, and parents spend more time playing with their children. So this is sort of different. So and parents really see play as a good thing for their children. They see that it's essential for their children's well-being and happiness. So this has changed. Even though it's important, there is also a lot of people who play is not equal. There is a lot of people who struggle with, you don't have the money, you don't have the space, maybe you don't even know how to, I want to have playfulness in my life, but I don't know how to do it. So they want to, but they don't know exactly how to do it. And then we also saw, this was one of the really fun things to see, that there is a little bit of a play revolution going on out there. Even if it's not like broadly spread yet, but there is a little bit. And it's also this, we have seen in earlier play reports that play builds academic skills. But now we rather see that play is actually fostering self-love with the children. So this is a different shift we see. We were quite happy to see that, because we have always wanted to sort of promote this free play with children, because if they just get to play free, they will learn a lot of good things for the future. So. Yeah, I think, and the last thing we saw was also that people really see, both children and parents really see the home as a place for living this more playful and life, because it's you also feel a little bit safe. The world is actually perceived as a little bit of a dangerous place right now, so the home is a nice place to start to live a more playful life.
We have decided that we want to see the home as the playground. We see that play is moving from being an activity to actually being. Play and playfulness is a mindset, a way of living, a way of being, and something that can be infused in not only toys and creativity range like we are working with in children's IKEA, but it can be incorporated in so many different product types. And with that mindset, we can of course starting to see a rug. It's not just a rug, right? It can be a playground, a world of imagination where the kids starting to see all kinds of different things. It is an adventurous forest, or the next day it is a field of lava where you have to build bridges to pass over, or you could turn a bench upside down and it becomes a boat. But if we can build in those small things in the products that actually triggers the imagination, then we can come quite far, and we can help both children and adults to play more and play more together. So how can we take those little everyday things, like hanging laundry, for example, and making it a little bit more fun and playful? Maybe this becomes an octopus. right? So you can play with your child, and all of a sudden, hanging the socks can be fun and playful. So with that, we can do quite a lot of different things.
I guess they will rather help out in the kitchen also if we can squeeze the lemon on a little rocket, or what we say, spaceship, or whatever it is.
Yes. And then, of course, also how we can approach this is looking into different types of play and different play preferences that we have. And I mean, we can just look at our children, or we can look at ourselves, or how we were when we were kids. When you're a child, you have a world of different play types, and you try out a lot of different things. But when you're older, that will be smaller and smaller. And of course, there are kids that love to imagine. They create stories all over, and perhaps you're part of the story, and you can be the queen living in the forest. And then we have other kids who love to play outside, love to move their body. We have kids who love creativity. They are small artists, right? And we have kids who love sport. So we have all those different play preferences, and those we also later have in our everyday life. So with that said also, I mean, you could think about yourself, how you can then use your own play types to foster as well this the playfulness in the everyday life. How you can, if you're more serious, you will of course want to draw conclusions on things, right? You want to find solutions on things. But if you're having a playful mindset, you will also find opportunities and possibilities in everything, and that can also be something that we can adopt in our everyday life, right, Maria?
I think it can be stressful as a parent as well, because sometimes you think that you need to play all these things. You know, maybe I don't like all the plays that I need to do with I remember very well when my children were small, I hated this play with dolls, you know, where now this one is saying this and then it's saying that, and you know, this thing. So I always made the house or made the dresses or clothes for the dolls instead of that. Because I think many parents think that you need to do all the play, but maybe, as you say, find what you think is close to your play preference as well.
But then maybe we should also look into what we do in our everyday life also to be more playful. And of course, it is a little bit easier working at Children's IKEA. We always have the toys close at hand. I mean, if you start a meeting if we're having a board meeting with some serious people, we put some soft toys on the chairs. And who will not start a meeting smiling and starting to fiddle around with those little darlings? And then we have a much softer approach. And there are other examples too,
yeah,
right?
I remember also we had a collaboration with Lego for a while, and I remember when we came to their office first time, and they had in all the meeting rooms, they had the big bowl of Lego. And, you know, see how people start to build and how you can think and do something with your hands at the same time. I mean, something happens with people. And I also know when we have met with, could be serious, another company, and then it comes quite serious people, and then we have also dressed it up a little bit, like, you know, with soft toys and stuff. And I think that the interesting thing that happens is that people just drop their professional mask and starts to play around with this. And then we have sort of gained an hour because we don't need to get to know each other. We already, you know, by playing a little bit, the true person comes out immediately. So then we are ourselves, and, you know, you have the right atmosphere and the right feeling from the beginning. So I've seen it so many times. It really works. And even with the stiffest people, it works in suit and tie, and, you know, this is what my children have, or this is what I played when I was a child, or, you know, it really drops. Yeah. And then I think we were actually challenged when we did this play report. The Future Minds who helped us do it, they when we asked them, if you want to challenge us now, how would you know, what do you think is important for us now if we are going to do more playful products for people? And then they say, but then you need to be playful as well. So how will you do that? So we actually brought our department out for 2 days and really spent the whole 2 days on how to become more playful. And then we started our business planning in that playful way. And I have to say, people were better. So it's really, I think, being playful for better work. It's not playing now and then we work, but working under playful circumstances really makes a difference. And I think the best thing is when you say afterwards that, oh, wow, this was really, we really became good here, and it was because of a playful way of doing it. I also think it helps psychological safety. I think we all know that psychological safety is one of the preconditions for people to be themselves and to be their best selves. And I also think play helps with that, because you become a little bit more of yourself, or your true self. Yeah.
So maybe there are some curiosity in the audience.
Exactly. So we have 10 more minutes. And I have a microphone, so prepare a question if you have one. And I'll do the first, because I already have a microphone. So I wonder, so I'm going to be back with my team tomorrow morning. What is sort of like one exercise or one thing that I should do to have a more playful way of working? What's the best thing that you've tried?
It depends a little bit on how much you know. Are you knowing each other very well?
We're super tight.
You are
There's 12
super
of
tight.
us. It's a small team. Not stiff at all, but still room for more playfulness. What should I do?
A nice check-in, if you're doing that, could be that you actually use some things, and if you check in and say that, oh, I really need this support now, and I need this to be my, guiding star in that. You can use so it might not be a monkey, you take something, but it's this is a wish monkey who makes everyone working well together, or you use some tools.
Cool. Who am I today? You can also use.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do that. Throw a lot of toys on the table and who am I today?
Great.
And then you can start explaining things that you maybe wouldn't have explained otherwise.
Thank you. I'll try that, and I'll let you know how it worked.
Or
We're
if
curious
you
now.
haven't done it before, ask each other what was your favorite play when you were a child. You can get a lot of insights that you didn't know about your people.
Good. I see 2 hands in the middle. So I'll the gentleman in the yellow couch. So please say your name and what you do when you're not here in one word.
Yeah. My name is John Walker, and I am working on the ethics of VR at our organization in the Netherlands. But part of my work has been trying to figure out things around responsible technologies, and in our methods that we're trying to help our members do, creating a culture to talk about hard conversations like ethics. We've noticed that games really help break down what you were talking about, sort of a professional setting, but also feel a bit safer. Something ego, right? There's a lot of ego discussion. But it was really cool, and we're talking about this because I was thinking, how cool would it be to also just bring this into our organization and see how, especially with the Dutch, how they would respond. Because our meeting rooms are very tame. They're very, sober. Have you seen organizations just, ask for budget from their HR people, like a simple request, and then go get some objects, like you basically say, and props, and see what comes out of it?
Absolutely, and that helps so much. I would say to get the meeting rooms more playful. You can do a lot. Just placing a soft toy, peeking out behind the TV screen. Just simple things like that does a lot, right? Or
Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
we have a very good example also.
Yes.
This monkey, we had in the spring, we made a huge one of this. He was huge. Like this. And he was sitting in our reception. So every day you come in, you see this huge monkey sitting there. And he was sitting there for some weeks. And then we started to place, he had bananas one day. And then the next day, someone has put some small monkeys on him, and the other day, some other people have. So he was constantly changing. You know, people were just starting to play, and you know,
adding accessories every day.
Accessories, and he had glasses, and sometimes he was sort of laying like this. So there is something. Of course, you can't create a whole culture just with props. You need to allow for it as well. But it does something to people when you know, it gives an opportunity if you want to, because there is always people who don't want as well, or have a higher, the tröskel.
And we were also curious
threshold.
about who did all these things in the, because it was different every morning.
Yeah.
So we were kind of, who is doing all of this? And then we figured out it was the ones who were cleaning and the security people who were so bored during the evening. So they started doing all these playful things, and that maybe you don't expect, but at the other hand, it's really fun, right?
Hi, my name is Björn, and I spend most of my time playing with our members in our movement studio and with CEOs and workshops. So with that background, I have a fun question, maybe two actually. First one, what is your definition of play? And the second one, you mentioned that play is a good tool to create psychological safety, but some psychological safety is also required to play. So how are your experiences with that from your research or maybe from the work within your organization? Thanks.
So definition of play, I mean, our definition, we don't have a scientific definition. Play is something that is fun, something that is sparking joy and inner joy. And we like to think that how we explain play, it is from a child's perspective. So it is this inner joy of something that you just disappear into this world where you do what you like.
Voluntary, can't resist, want to do more.
Exactly.
So sort of the same thing, the same preconditions actually as you need for creativity and innovation to flourish. You know, time, psychological safety, fun. You know, not about you, but about the thing that we're doing here together. So no prestige or personal. You know, that's not here. It's just what we're doing together. But then on your other, now, how did you say the question was on the? Yes. Of course, this we said about props and things, that's not everything. I think it needs to come from the leadership. Because if you as a leader don't allow for this and show the way yourself, it's not, you're not going to create psychological safety around it. So it needs to start with how you lead and how you are.
I have a question. Is this report available somewhere?
Yes.
Great.
IKEA.com, the
Awesome.
global site.
Beautiful.
It sits, so you can read about all the reports if you want that, all the 4.
Great. That was my question.
We can also recommend a little movie we have there. There is a little nice movie about children, the future.
Hi, I'm Nat, a writer. I was interested by your definition of play as this thing that sparks joy and makes you feel completely in the zone with what you're doing. And this assumption that play is something kids have and that adults kind of lose it. But when you were talking, it made me consider that professional sport is obviously formalized play for adults that is completely kind of institutionalized, but there's something very structured in that, and yet it gives us that same joyful feeling to do it. But is there something very important about this kind of structureless play in comparison to structured play like sport that you think is vital to the effects you're looking for?
We actually try in the 3rd play report. We actually tried to find like a definition of play, and in there it was quite obvious that as long as it's voluntary and I want to do it, if it's imposed on me, then it's not play anymore, because then it's, you know, and I don't, you know, if I'm in football and I don't think it's fun, someone else put me here and I don't, you know, I don't enjoy it, then maybe it's not play. But if it's the most fun thing I know and I enjoy it and I really want to do more of it, then of course it is play. So I think it's it can be both, as everything, you know. Pressured play can also be not true play if it's not your choice. So.
Yeah, hi. Actually, it's 2 questions. One was regarding all the people who were surveyed, both the larger one and the 36 families. Just a quick mention about where in the world, how are chosen, who was involved in talking with them. And then the other one was you partially answered, which was about resources. So this one that's on the IKEA site is, we just search play.
No, on the IKEA page.
Yeah, the one that this resource, the report.
The report.
Is it you just search for play on IKEA.com?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called Play Report.
Okay. And if you know any other resources that might be interesting for us, that would also be interesting to hear. Any other about this and convincing people to use this in our innovative work.
Should we start with the in-depth interviews, like 2-3 hours in people's homes, was in China, US, and Germany, and it was this research company who helped us, and some people from us who were part in those interviews, really studying and talking to families and children to really understand what their dreams, frustrations, wishes, and everything.
But the families didn't know that we were from IKEA.
No.
And this we thought was important to get a good research base, of course.
And then when we extended to the more quantitative survey, which was a survey, then we added the countries France, Japan, India, and Poland. So that gives us a good spread of both culture and
then maybe to also answer both that, but also your second question, we had a lot of experts as well that we interviewed, and that is also named in the end of the play report. So I think if you're looking for more research, and you can find more there. Yeah.